am Richard Eustace Kabate. I will therefore take you through the first topic, which is the introduction of the court process servers in Tanzania. The topic which has the learning outcomes, which include learning or knowing the terms involved in the court process serving in Tanzania mainland. But also it has the types of the court process which are involved. But also for you to be in a position to understand the rules relating to the service and the other processes. Therefore, the service process by the court process server in Tanzania must involve the legal document. Now, what are these legal documents that are involved in the service process by the court process server? One of the documents could be the summons. Another document could be the judgment. Another document could be the drawn orders. And this document, particularly the judgment and the decree or the drawn orders, are reflected under Order 20, Rule 6 and Rule 7 of the Civil Procedure Act. Now, what are the contents? There must be contents on the summons. There must be the contents to any legal document issued by the court. But in knowing these contents, you should also be in a position to understand who is the court process server. The court process server is an individual or a person appointed by the court brokers and the process server's appointment, the enumeration and disciplinary committee, which is also guided by the court broker, court process appointment, enumeration, disciplinary rules. Now, for you to understand further the contents that are supposed to be enshrined in the legal document, they could include the following contents. If it's a summons, if it's a judgment, if it is the decree of the court, then it should have the name, it should bear the name of the court. Apart from bearing the name of the court, it should also indicate who are the parties involved in the case. But it should also indicate the authority. Such document must be endorsed by the court. Does it have a signature? Does it have a signature of the trial judge or the trial magistrate? Is it dated? With these few contents, a court process server will be in a position to understand that this is a legal document for me as a court process server to serve. So we are saying that under this particular topic, the entire service process is regulated by various laws. One of the laws includes the Civil Procedure, the Criminal Procedure Act, and the court broker and process server appointment, the enumeration, disciplinary rules of 2017. Now, when we talk of service of the process, we are talking of serving of the summons from one point to the other. The movement from one point to the other should involve of a person to be served. Now, if a person has been served, it could reflect or to be called as personal service, that a service has been served to a particular person. But there could be some services, the summon that involves to be served to other categories of persons other than personal service. Therefore, if a person to be served has not been found, there comes another type of service to be opted, which shall include the substituted service. The substituted service chips in simply because the ordinary service has failed. The person to be served has not been traced. The person indicated in the address to be served has not been traced. So when an application has been made before the court to opt for the substituted service, then the substituted service will be issued, and the court process server will abide to that. Now, what are the indicators for the court to know that a service has been effected? There are various ways in which the court can satisfy itself if the summons issued has been served by the court process server. It could be through the proof of service. Therefore, as a court process server, you will be required, having served the summons, then you need to send the affidavit for proof of service. If that proof of service has been made, then it becomes a proof on the part of the court that its document, which was a summons, has been duly served to the responsible categories of people. But there are situations where a court process server wishes to serve the service out of the local jurisdiction of the court, or out of the local jurisdiction where the court process server derives the mandate. Whichever the case, still the summons will be served, and the proof of service will accordingly be filed before the court by the court process server. So who is this court process server? As we said before, the court process server, the partaker, is a person appointed by the committee, a special committee formed under the court broker, court process server, the appointment, the enumeration, disciplinary rules of 2017. And this person has to be a Tanzanian. He must have some qualifications to meet. He must be competent to serve. Therefore, there are certain criteria to be fulfilled for a person to be appointed as court process server in Tanzania. And these criteria include being a Tanzanian, but also he has completed the ordinary level education, but he has also acquired the certificate of competence in fluency of Swahili and English from the Institute of Judicial Administration. But the fact that is the Tanzanian aged 18 and above, and the fact that he is not a lunatic, it suffices for that person to be appointed as a court process server in Tanzania. Now, with these few remarks, we would wish to refer you to read the case of Matthias Kanimba. The case of Matthias Kanimba versus Suyakanti Patel is a case of 1973 law report of Tanzania. In this particular case, the court process server was referred to as an officer of the court. So, dear partaker, for you to understand that this is a very important cause for you, because you have been defined under this particular case to be as an officer of the court.